Welcome back to Kababayan Today. Ako po si G. Tonji. Tomorrow marks our first day of October. Alam niyo po ba na malaking buwan itong selebrasyon para sa ating mga Filipino American? Alamin po natin ang ating historya mula kay Brandon Reilly for Know History, Know Self.
Americans tend to think of their history in a particular way. Their country originated on the East Coast as a series of English settlements. Those settlements later evolved into the 13 colonies, which rebelled against Britain in 1775 and became the United States. There is truth to this vision of the past, of course, but among other things it overlooks is that other Europeans arrived much earlier: the French, the Dutch, particularly the Spanish. Above all, this narrative fails to emphasize that the human history of the Western Hemisphere began millennia before, with the diverse peoples we call Native Americans. Another people whose history in America it leaves out is the Filipinos. This month on Kababayan Today, to commemorate Filipino American History Month 2015, we will examine the 5-century history of Filipino America. It is a narrative of the past filled with uncertainty, struggle, violence. At the same time, it is one of progress, resilience, and triumph. Some of this history we might already know: the encounter with the Americans during the Spanish-American War, the ensuing struggles of the Manong generation in the 1910s, 20s, and 30s, the triumph against adversity of Filipino farm workers in Northern California in the 1960s. Yet other aspects might surprise us: that the first Filipinos came to the West Coast in the late 1500s, that there was a small but burgeoning community of Filipinos in Louisiana in the 1700s, that Filipinos formed a civil rights movement in the 1960s all their own. And who better to tell this story than our community itself? Our presenters this month include university professors, award-winning journalists, leaders of community-based organizations, representatives from the Philippines' cultural minorities, among many others. This is, in other words, not only a history about Filipinos in America, it is one narrated by them as well. It is told by individuals that have devoted their lives to articulating this past, by people who have lived it, by Filipinos who embody it. Filipinos today are perhaps the most ubiquitous people on Earth. On every continent, across vast oceans, and in virtual worlds accessed and not, one will definitely encounter Filipinos. How did a single, yet culturally diverse Southeast Asian people from but one corner of the world come to populate seemingly every part of it? And what does that fact mean? If we take a look at the history of Filipinos in America, in the singular place outside of the Philippines itself, that more than any other, Filipinos have made into their home for no less than 5 centuries, then we might gain insight into these questions and countless other ones. And in the process, we will discover an American past that is in ways far richer than that of the Americans themselves.
Maraming salamat kay Brandon Reilly. Remember to tune in all this month at siguradong marami kayong matututunan tungkol sa ating pagdating dito sa Amerika. Let's celebrate Filipino American History Month together here on Kababayan Today. Salamat po muli. Ako po ang inyong kababayan na si G. Tonji.